humanoids from the tetrahedral Earth. Once again, it is I, Orlock,
the destroyer of worlds,
the liberator of sphincters, the bastion of bedroom rodeos,
the harbinger of HorrorWeb.
With my damsel of the damned, Scarah. How are you today, Scarah?
I'm dreadfully well, Orlock. I'm excited to be here with our Herald of Doom.
As am I. Tonight I am confounded by human idiocracy. Yes, Scarah, I have been running amok on your putrid planet, warning you bastardly bipedal that your end is nigh.
Come on, folks, the end is fucking nigh.
Yet you heinous humans carry on with your meaningless lives as if the upcoming apocalypse was more of a
suggestion.
What is up with your beastly breed, Scarah?
I don't know. Too much sex, I guess.
Disgusting fucking earthlings!
I mean, even the inhabitants of planet Zorn, known for their stubborn attitudes and sweet breast milk.
You really must try Zorninian breast milk, people. A delightfully creamy treat, straight from a Zorninian teat.
You humans really are the pinnacle of the obtuse, running around with your Starbucks coffees, listening to Fergie and Five Finger Death Punch, furiously masturbating while eating your Taco Bell and chorizo. Fuck! Let an alien know that he's on camera, you dimwits! You're all fucking fired to the pit! It's so hard to find good help nowadays. Alas, whether you've been all bipedal, learn to accept your upcoming doom or not, you will all soon die an insufferable death! So continue on with your basic bitch lives. But beware.
The end of the world approaches, you miserable meat sacks.
Scarah,
Yes.
that reminds me of a joke. Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary?
No.
It runs in your genes! By now, the less obtuse of you dimwits have figured out that the only way to survive the upcoming apocalypse is to live out the remains of your pitiful lives as slaves on my pimp-ass starship.
I want to be a member of the Orlockian Galactic Sex Harem.
That could be arranged, Scarah.
However, only the most vile and fucked up of you hominids may experience the grace of the great Orlock. Scarah and the rest of the HorrorWeb team have been tasked to dig up from the grave a few of the most despicable humans they could find to clean my latrines. Let's see who Scarah and the rest of the HorrorWeb crew have rescued from world annihilation this time. Scarah?
Yes, oh.
My Madame of the Macabre? What dastardly deranged dude have you found for us tonight?
Let's find out.
Thanks, Orlock. We're here with Mitch Rafter from Gore Noir magazine. He is the owner and, do you even say proprietor in this type of situation?
I don't know if you'd call me a proprietor. It's kind of too big of a term.
It's too big for you, or...
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's way too big for me.
I'm starting off rude as hell. Actually, I really like it.
Okay, you can be as rude as you want.
Okay, well, I'm dressed for the part. Get the whip! Now, my first question is, so Gore Noir has been in print for how long? So when did you start?
7 years ago, actually, yeah. So this year we celebrated 7 years. We had a 7-year anniversary party where we had blood wrestling and slime wrestling, so it was really fun.
We're going to get to that in a second. Let me go back. Okay, so the first issue of Gore Noir, how did that even happen? Was it something you'd been wanting to do for a while, or did it start as something else and then morph into a magazine?
So I had been wanting to do a magazine for a long time anyway, and I was doing a photography group where we did black and white photos with red blood, so the Gore Noir made sense then. Mm-hmm. We still do like black and white issues and stuff like that, but so we started off as the photography group, and then it ended up morphing into the magazine because I had been wanting to do one for a while, and I love horror, so it just kind of became that.
Well, I'm a fan of the magazine, and you always have lots of alternative models in there, and pretty ladies and pretty dudes. Where do you find the models?
I find them on social media mostly. I get emails all the time. Models wanting to do photography, photo shoots and all that kind of stuff. So they come to us, I guess.
They submit. Yeah, I would imagine that people are sending you stuff all the time. Sometimes probably things you are like, no, thank you. You probably don't want to say that. You don't want to be rude. I can be rude.
I can be rude. No, we get a lot of stuff. Like I've seen at least a bloody bathtub shoot like every month. So you won't find any more bloody bathtub shoots. And then
how innovative. Hey guys, I'm going to take a bloody bath picture and send, yeah, you should have a wall of them actually.
Yeah, just like a whole wall, just black. That would actually be pretty cool. But yeah, I've still seen some, like, don't get me wrong, there's still some that will be like, wow, that's a really cool shoot. But it's like, hey, where are we going to do the blood? Let's go in the bathroom because that's where we can clean it up. So it's just.
Well, I've seen you had like bloody showers before at your event, right?
Yeah, so I took it up a notch. I was like, let's go from the bath to an actual shower. So I set up an actual shower head where it actually squirts out blood. So we were doing photo shoots with that and shooting some boomerangs. It was really cool.
That was really cool. I had never seen, bloody shower before other than like Psycho or whatever, but that's not really what we're talking about.
Yeah, and this was actually like the shower head was squirting out blood. So it's a little bit different. Yeah.
It wasn't like somebody, getting stabbed. It was they're bathing in the blood of the innocents or showering in it. So what happened first, slime wrestling or blood wrestling?
So blood wrestling happened first. That was for, I think it was our second show we did. It was in San Francisco. So somebody else had done blood wrestling before, and they stopped doing it for a while. And I was like, it's a really cool idea. I never went to see what they had done. But we did our first show, and it was messy as hell because I was like, there should be more blood in here. It needs to be full. Like, it needs to be a lot of blood in here. So we kind of made it, like, we watered it down, and it didn't work too well, and it was splashing everywhere. The actual venue was like, we're never having you back again ever. Oh. And then like a week later they emailed us like, hey, everybody's hitting us up about the blood wrestling, when do you want to do it again? I'm like, never coming back, huh? So we did it again. Slime wrestling didn't happen until like 6 years after.
What sparked that?
So I kind of wanted to have like a toxic theme to things, and like I've always liked, Nickelodeon, you can't do that on television, right. And slime, and our colors are green and red, so I was like, it'd be cool to do slime wrestling, have like everything toxic waste themed. We have like light up like 5-gallon drums and stuff like that.
I wore the green for you today.
You did.
This is for you. Tell us about the events. What all goes on at the events? How often do you have them?
So we don't have like an actual set schedule for the events. We pretty much do them as see fit. We usually don't do it around Halloween. Because there's so many things happening around that. I don't like competing with everybody else. So we'll have them in like early in the year, February, March, April, May, June, in that range. But we like to do slime wrestling, blood wrestling. We did the Splatter Gories. We are going to be doing a Nosferatu Fest. But it's pretty much we'll bring like sideshow, burlesque, some bands, and then something that's bloody or slimy.
So Splattergories was the live trivia game show that you let me host. That was awesome. Are you going to, now that I have you here in front of all the lights, are you going to do another one, Mitch?
No, never again.
It was a failure.
No, yeah, we have a lot of people that want to be involved, so we'll definitely do another Splattergories. I'm not sure how I want to do it because it was kind of hard doing it in front of like an audience like that, where I felt like we had to keep it on track. There couldn't be any downtime. Like, I kind of like things to move fast, but like with that kind of thing, it needed to be like, okay, we need to like set up and be able to film because I want to put it on YouTube or things like that. So I want to have more of a controlled environment, have some people that can come, but up the production value a bit. So
you have a YouTube channel?
Yeah, I don't really put a lot out on the YouTube channel. I've been trying to do more, but when you have so many ideas and it's like you and maybe a person or two, it's hard to put a lot out there. So
you do have a lot of ideas. I mean, I just saw, recently, and you just mentioned it, that you're going to do the Nosferatu convention or festival. What are you calling it?
It's called Nosferatu Festival. The actual when they first screened the movie back in 1922. It was called Festival of Nosferatu, but depending on how you read it, it could be the opposite way. Nosferatu Festival. So that's what I wanted to start the first annual and have it every year, because 2022 is going to be obviously 100 years since it first came out. So
obviously, I knew that.
Obviously.
Oh, go ahead.
So this year, 2019 will actually be 90 years since it first screened in U.S.
Okay.
Yeah.
What all, so you want to have, of course, vendors and any acts that are related to just Nosferatu, or do you want it to be vampire-centric?
So it's going to be very vampire-centric. So it's just going to be it's going to be centered on Nosferatu. We're going to do 3 screenings, different types of Nosferatu. I reached out to Invincible Czars, they do like a live score to it.
Oh.
So we might have them. Right now, it's a lot of stuff that I'm just reaching out to people for. We're actually creating our own version of Nosferatu. It's going to be the way it's same setup, but it's going to be black, white, and red. So it's all going to have a red cast to it. I have a friend who's going to be doing the soundtrack.
I picture that there's a room somewhere in your pad where there's like little Post-it notes and red strings and whatnot. Is that or is this all just in your head, or how do you stay organized with all of this?
I'm terribly unorganized. I have ADD. So ideas come up. I have actually a notebook that I write all of them in, and I have the notepads in the iPhone if I don't have my notebook. So I'll be transferring ideas back and forth and kind of bouncing them off people. If they're super interested, I'll keep running with it. If they're then I might just toss it aside. It's whatever keeps traction and keeps rolling forward that I'll end up doing.
Well, you definitely have ideas and then you bring them to fruition. I mean, the proof is in, all of these magazines that we see behind us and different things, the VHS. Tell us about what's going on with these type of things.
So these ones, it was pretty much, I love VHS. I love that old school, tactile, feel to it. I actually like low definition stuff. I don't really like super high def stuff. But there a lot of people are collecting VHS, especially horror fans now.
I noticed.
So this was more I like designing stuff. So I like old school. This one's a cabinet of Dr. Caligari, and so I did a special, and it's got different random stuff in it, a magnet and different stuff like that. So it's kind of like a hider, you could put stuff in there, and then you also have your all the merch that you get with it. So
what would you be hiding in there?
Oh,
Mitch, it
other
says
Gore Noir merch.
Yeah, so you sell that too, huh? Anyway, so you go to conventions and you take things like this and T-shirts and your magazines.
Yep.
Now this is something special. Tell us about this coffin shape.
So we have we've been doing coffin shape. I say we. I've been doing coffin shaped issues. In the very beginning, I always try to figure out new ideas for different types of things that I could do with the magazine. I did a scratch and sniff. I did a special They Live cover where it's just says submit, obey. It was the actual when he went to the magazine rack. They had those covers on there, so I was I want to do that. If I'm going to be doing a blood filled cover.
I saw that with the Freddy. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, Freddy.
Is that going to be ready for Texas Frightmare?
So it's definitely going to be ready for Texas Frightmare because they're having a Nightmare on Elm Street reunion for that. Yeah. So there's going to be 4 different covers for that one. So
wow.
Yeah, it'll be cool.
And then you've been doing the coffin shape for how long?
I would say for 4 years now.
Yeah.
I do them once a year. So usually around Halloween I'll do one. Oh. And this last one I did 2 different covers. It was all Dracula themed. That's the Christopher Lee, and then you have the Bela Lugosi.
2 different Draculas. That's great. Who do you prefer?
Different. I can't say.
Smart. They're smart.
I really like the Christopher Lee because he looks, super menacing and crazy.
Yeah.
But Bela's obviously the thing that you think about when you think about Dracula.
Definitely. It's he would look better on a T-shirt, but he looks better as Dracula.
He's the suave Dracula.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So it feels like your influences are very 80s, 90s, Garbage Pail Kids, like you said, Toxic Avengers. You can't do that on television, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
When did you become a horror fan that you are now? Or when did all that start? What sparked your little horror, creepy, spooky brain?
I was probably like 4 or 5, and I first watched Nightmare on Elm Street. So I got scared as hell. My aunt was like, "Freddy's in the or in my bedroom." She's like, "Freddy's in my bedroom," and her bedroom door was open, and it was pitch black in the house. So I had to go to the bathroom. I had to go by her room to get to the bathroom. I'm just like, no, I'm not going. It took 3 people like walking me over to the bathroom to go. But then like after that, like sometimes the things that scare you like kind of opens up those things in your head. So like I had like a lot of nightmares and stuff like that. So those kind of pushed you towards that. It kind of excites you at the same time. So
Your scratch and sniff stuff, what did you have to smell? Like what were the scents?
so it was for our Return of Living Dead issue. So we had Tarman on the cover. So it was supposed to smell like Tarman, or like the trioxin, stuff that turned him into a zombie. So it was like burnt rubber and mold, I think it was. Mildew,
My favorite.
Mildew. Yeah. So like some people liked it for some reason, and some people didn't. I actually have one of them. So
Some people like skunk smell,
some people do. I like gas.
Yeah.
Like gas smell, not like human gas, but
Yeah, you're disgusting.
car gas. I am disgusting. Thank you.
You don't have to do this in order, but I'm curious. What are, throw out like 5 horror movies you really like. Now, they don't have to be like, these are my top 5 all time. It's just like on your brain right now, 5 horror films.
Like minus the ones that are like obvious. Like I like Critters. I like a lot of like weird, like small creature horror, like Ghoulies, Critters. They did a bunch of them like that. Obviously, Hellraiser is one of the biggest ones. Nosferatu is high up there too. Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I could keep going. So
The original.
yeah.
74. Yeah. Have you seen any horror movies this year, 2018, 2017?
Anything that's
been like released?
So
recently?
Hereditary was pretty good. What else was there? I saw the new Halloween. I hate to say it, but I'm not a huge Halloween fan.
Yeah.
Like I wasn't really like Halloween 3 definitely. It just like a slow moving like killer that doesn't say anything didn't really do much for me. That's why like Freddy Krueger was cooler, because like he liked to mess with people and like it was like interesting kills. Jason obviously is a little bit better because he's has more interesting kills. But this I can't think of really anything else.
Freddy also, he has lines, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. He had a lot of character, and like just like Dream Warriors kills and stuff like that were crazy, and they just kind of ramped it up from there. It's all like based on dreams.
So is the magazine a monthly release, or is it?
So we so we print every 3 to 4 months. It really depends on how fast I put it together, because I do all the designing. But yeah, it's pretty much just like horror art, music, photography, tattoos, and models. It's a lot more nostalgia, like we were talking about before, where it's those kind of movies like Nightmare on Elm Street, and we did like an issue that was just Texas Chainsaw Massacre and They Live and stuff like that. So it's a lot of that as opposed to like just new movies.
What's the future of Gore Noir magazine?
So it's going to be going downhill fast. It's terrible. It's really good for toilet paper. No, it's as far as the magazine goes, I never really want to get super huge. I like the ability to be small and be able to do those fun like niche magazines where you can do like a blood-filled cover and things like that. But I definitely want to get it out there more. We're going to be doing our own convention as opposed to just a Nosferatu festival. Oh. So most magazines have their own convention, so I want to do that. But kind of like flip the bird at all the other magazines and all the other stuff, because we want to do like an award show. So there'll be like photography, artwork, things like that, have awards for those kind of people, and have like kind of like a subculture horror.
That's awesome. You also attend several conventions, correct?
Yeah, so we're at pretty much Texas Frightmare every year. We do Cult Classic. We do a lot of local ones. We also do Sinister Creature Con quite a bit in California, because that's where we're originally from, California. So,
if you were abducted by aliens, would and they probed you, would you tell anybody?
Are they female or male?
They're aliens. I think they're, from my experience, they have
Have you
both.
been abducted?
Just kidding. That was.
I think I would tell people, yeah, why not?
Who would like just everybody in general, or your wife?
We'll just come back here and we'll hang out and we'll talk about the time I was probed by some aliens.
If you could volunteer to be probed by aliens, would you?
I don't think the probing part, but like to hang out with some aliens, definitely.
Yeah.
There's like the what was it? I think it was like a Jason Mewes. Like he was like, yeah, I'd love to be, meet an alien, be the first guy to fuck one. He's like, that's an alien fucker. That wouldn't be me, but yeah, probe, that whole part is like.
So tell us where people can find your magazine to purchase.
So you can go to the website, gorenoir.com, and the merchandise will be right off there. You could also hit up our social media. We're on pretty much everything. So Instagram is like at gorenoirmag.com, and Gore Noir is GORENOIR, like Pinot Noir. Yeah. So Facebook, we're pretty much on everything. So if you find us on there, there will always be a link to be able to purchase. We're also in a bunch of small shops. So if you have a local shop that you want to see us in, hit us up, and we can definitely hit them up and see if we can get our magazine in there.
Well, that's awesome. We really appreciate you talking to us and letting us know all about your magazine and all the events you have coming up. It certainly seems exciting, and we will be hopefully there to help you celebrate at your Nosferatu business and your conventions and your whatnot.
Absolutely.
And later I'm going to send you a picture of a bloody bathtub. Okay. It won't be me in there, though. It'll be Orlock. So it'll just be a bloody bathtub. A shampoo bottle floating aimlessly. So if you want to be the first person to fuck an alien, let us know below. Comment and like and share and do whatever you need to do. Speaking of alien fuckers, back to you, Orlock.
Scarah, you have done a delightfully dreadful job at digging up from the
Bowels of hell!
Mitch from Gore Noir. What a putridly pleasurable publication! Mitch definitely does credit to your impetuous planet of turd munching,
puke-inducing,
Home Depot shopping. Apocalypse ignoring humans.
They were a pleasure to sit down with.
Well, I always look forward to the latest issue of Gore Noir magazine.
As do I.
Well, it feels like I should finally retire to my Orlockian galactic sex harem to have my butthole fondled and fed pickles.
So until next time, Earthlings.
Remember, witch is witch. In the witching hour, zombies rise and brains devour. Vampires fly and sip on blood. Werewolves howl in your neighborhood. But none of these will save your soul as your death bell begins to toll. For it is I, Orlock, who you should fear as I herald your death. The end is near.